show you something. Personally, I feel that most day trading and technical analysis in its current form, and a lot of what you see on YouTube, is better to predict the past. And the truth is the past does not make you any money. Now, I don't want to call out this YouTuber. He actually has a good channel, but he's usually always wrong with this technical analysis, and it's a very big channel. So I'm just going to play the opening of his most recent video. Listen to this.
Now, Bitcoin has proved me wrong again, and we'll go over.
Did you hear how he had to open up? Bitcoin has proved me wrong again. Okay. Now, that's just a statement from him. But if you were counting on this information, you lost money. You made a bad move. Okay. One of the best ways to turn a large pile of money into a very small pile of money is trading on wrong information. So I'm going to play a little bit more of this. Okay. And remember, the idea of proper day trading is supposed to be able to help you predict the future so you know when to move in and out. See if you get any future prediction here.
In the market, I mean, there still is a lot of uncertainty, don't get me wrong, but now that we've kind of made back down and we traded at this 0.382 fib level for like 2 or 3 days with a bunch of people, including myself, in the opinion that we were headed down to this level right here, register that, or maybe even this level, we were headed down to one of those two. We didn't make it there.
Okay, let's hold it right there. So the level he's talking about is around the 8,000 level, okay, 8,400. And so you notice what he says. A bunch of people, including myself, okay, thought it was going to go down here. So if you had sold at 9,000 and change, hoping to buy back at 8,000, and you were using these technical indicators, guess what? You missed it. It didn't go down. And now if you want to be in Bitcoin, you have to buy it back in at a higher price. What did you just do? You sold low and bought high. This is where most people make mistakes and lose money.
I was a little bit wrong in that sense. I thought we would go down, but I'm not mad about that. Or maybe even this level, we were headed down to one of those two. We didn't make it there. We stopped.
So he's saying that we didn't make it down to that level, and it stopped short. Hold on. Oh, damn internet.
RSI, we're still in a relatively healthy range RSI, so I'm not really worried about that. I do want to see the Bitcoin price close a couple candles above 10.4 and trade and use that 10.4 resistance and turn it into support. If we can turn that into support, kind of like we did right here, you know, this was a pretty good little support line.
Now, I do believe in support and resistance lines, but is any of this telling you the future? Have you heard anything here that tells you, okay, I should sell Bitcoin now or buy Bitcoin now? No. And that's what this is really all about. What I'm trying to show you here is that there are people who will sell you these courses on YouTube that are self-proclaimed experts. And I'm not trying to bash this YouTuber. I'm doing my best to cover his identity. I actually watch some of his stuff more for entertainment value than anything else for moments like these. This is about making money, people. Okay? You need to somehow know the future. We're going to listen to a little bit more of this.
Curious, what is going to happen in the next 48 hours? Because, well, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to go to 13,000 immediately. We've got 2 hard supports. One.
Did you hear what he said? I'm honestly curious what Bitcoin is going to do in the next 48 hours. If you're an expert charting and candlesticks are that accurate to chart Bitcoin, how come you do not know? A lot of this candlestick and charting work comes from, all of it comes from the stock market. Keep in mind, the stock market has decades and decades and decades of history. A lot of this, what people don't know, is based on human emotion. This doesn't work as well with cryptos. There are very few tools you can effectively use in cryptos. okay, especially Bitcoin. Now, the point of this video is to give you a little bit of insight on uh, technical analysis, trading. Um, I call it tactical analysis because in today's environment, you are not going against human beings. You are going against the massive amount of bots that are trading in the market without emotion. So this game has changed dramatically. Okay, this is tactical warfare to make money. I really am so hesitant to teach you guys any of this stuff because new people see Bitcoin going up and down and they think, wow, if I could just figure out how to sell when it's high and then know when it's going to bottom out and buy it again, I could keep making a profit. It's not that easy, but you will have tons of self-proclaimed experts telling you, oh, I can teach you. Subscribe to my newsletter. Join my insider group. Buy my course. Look, truth of the matter is, if they were right, you wouldn't hear them say things like, oh, I was wrong, and oh, I can't wait to see what happens in the next 48 hours. You know, again, this stuff works in stocks. It doesn't work in cryptos. And you will find yourself over and over making the same mistakes. I'm trying to save you from this. If you're new in this market, grab some Bitcoin, hold it, and then every week or every month when you have some extra disposable income, buy it. Just add more. You know what that's called? Dollar cost averaging. So let's say you bought some Bitcoin, even if it's $50. If you bought $50 worth of Bitcoin every Friday, you're always going to get, sometimes you're going to get higher prices, sometimes you're going to get lower, and your average mean will be pretty decent. Okay, rather than if you took all your money and bought Bitcoin at 19,000 and hoped and prayed. You know what we call that, right? BHMP. Buy, hold, masturbate, and pray, because you have no control. So even if you have $20,000 to deploy in the market, my suggestion is you break that down to maybe $2,000 every Friday morning. Okay, however you want to break it down, maybe $5,000 every 2 weeks. However you do it, because this technical stuff is not as simple as they make you believe, and most of them are predicting the past. You need an oracle to predict the future. And even at that, I'm not even always right. Now, my nighttime trading that I do with overseas markets works like clockwork, but we're going to save that for another video. And you're only going to make 10 or 20%. When I do that overnight, and I do it consistently, okay, in the wee hours, but I do it with six figures. So yeah, it can easily be $10 or $20,000 a night. The key things you want to remember here is the RSI. The RSI kind of shows when something is overbought or oversold. If it's overbought, it's an indicator that it's probably going to go down. If it's oversold, okay, it's an indicator that it's going to pop back up. Just recently, Ethereum was showing to be oversold. As a matter of fact, this morning Ethereum is oversold. I've been riding Ethereum now from the mid 600s, and I'm in profit. But I am holding it. I'm not trading it on a daily level or a daily basis. But what I am doing is I've set a target for Ethereum. My target when I'm going to begin to get out and never look back, like what I did with DeVore, no matter what happens to the price. Okay, when you get out and you take a profit, you don't look back and say would have, could have, should have, because then you'll beat yourself up. And what good is beating up yourself emotionally and putting blame on yourself? But my target for Ethereum is around $1,700, $1,800, and I'm going to start scaling out. I have a pretty large position, and I'm going to pretty much stay in Bitcoin. What I am looking for in Bitcoin now, and the other terms I want you to remember, are resistance and support. Support is just what it sounds like. It's a support level under the price. If you break through support, what usually happens is you're going to downtrend and you're going to move downwards. Resistance is the previous support line. Okay, so what happens is now, we've come way down in Bitcoin from 20,000 or 19,000. So there are many resistance lines up here that used to be support lines, and we broke through them. Imagine that you're on the first floor of your house, you have a basement, and you break through that floor, and now you fall down to the basement. It's the easiest way I can explain this for new people. Now, once you break through a resistance level and you stay above it, that former resistance level now becomes support, and it's like going up steps. Okay, so at Bitcoin we're looking at 10,400, 10,600. Okay, as the next resistance levels. I'm really feeling we will see, and it may not go straight up, but we will see Bitcoin um, start making its way to 13 and 14,000. And I told you, I put a prediction out there that by June 7th, and you can see it in my previous videos, I expect Bitcoin to make new all-time highs between 24,000 and 27,400. And believe me, I am holding on to my Bitcoin. Now, again, what I do at night with the overseas market is a completely different animal. I will save that for another video. So I've been trying to find ways to explain um, this trading action in simple terminology that everyone would understand. And I've been looking for videos I can incorporate. And so the main things I want you to remember now are support, resistance, okay, and the RSI. And you can look these up. Look up what the RSI is, okay, meaning oversold. It's usually an indicator, it's a number, okay, meaning oversold or overbought. Those are the key things you need to remember. All of these things, green and red, these are candlesticks. Okay, there's a whole glossary of different candlesticks. And you can sit there and memorize all of them. For me, honestly, I feel it's been a waste of time in crypto. It's not something I do. Now, the candlesticks form patterns. Sometimes there's something called a head and shoulders pattern, where it literally looks like, this isn't really a great example, it looks like a head and two shoulders. Then there's something that forms a flag pattern. Again, most of this, I would say 85% of the time, is an absolute waste. You know what? I did hear a video earlier, actually 2 days ago, from somebody that's a wolf that really explains where Bitcoin is going, and his technical analysis is great. Let me see if I can find that video for you. Okay. Oh, and by the way, if you guys notice this background here, yes, that's Coin. I'm working with my team on crafting a video, actually, an email to Coin now, to see if we can do something like we did with Chrysos, basically a restructure, resurrection plan, a resurrection plan to resurrect LibreCoin. I feel that the best thing we can do now is try to get our existing platforms to work rather than diluting ourselves amongst 30 new platforms. There's just not enough people still interested in this space. But if we can make some of these work and then attract the attention of new investors, look, everyone would love to make 30, 40% a month. There are people coming into crypto all the time that if hypes were still popular, they'd be in those. But we have these good platforms that just need a little help. So yes, I am working with my team. I wanted to get it done today. It's very labor intensive. All this stuff takes a lot of research, and I want to fix these things. And again, I'm still looking at new things, but I'm not ready to bring out anything new yet. Okay. So you remember Crypto Profits. He did a great technical analysis video that I want to share with you on Bitcoin. And he basically uses what I use, and he explains it really well. He talks about the 200-day moving average. You know what? Let me just play this for you, and then I'm actually going to give you a link, okay, to how you can find some of these terms and also some of these charts that you can use yourself. So let me go ahead and play some of this from Crypto Profits.
Hey, good morning everybody. I'm just looking at Bitcoin here, and this is a channel and some lines I drew in the other day. Now, if you saw my technical analysis video, you would have seen that I drew in this slope here before this run up, and we came back, and we kind of rode this general slope all the way up to here. Now, if you saw my technical analysis video, you would have seen that I drew in this slope here before this run up, and we came back and we kind of rode this general slope all the way up to here. It didn't go too far down off of it or up off of it. It just stayed with this general slope.
Oh, guys, I'm not at home. I'm actually traveling, and the Wi-Fi connection I have is terrible right now as I try to make this video for you. Hold on, let me see if I can refresh this.
Now, if you saw my technical analysis video, you would have seen that I drew in this slope here before this run up, and we came back and we kind of rode this general slope all the way up to here. It didn't go too far down off of it or up off of it. It just stayed with this general slope that we could see happening down here. So from drawing in this general trend line, I was able to see it didn't go too far down off of it or up off of it. It just stayed with this general slope that we could see happening down here. So from drawing in this general trend line, I was able to see that we had this slope going up this way for the most part in the long term. In the short term, we had a steeper slope. And what this is suggesting is that we'd have to snap back to the mean or average, right? My last technical analysis video ended around here. We're in this 10,300 area. Taking a look at this day chart for Bitcoin, we're up at this 9,600 level right now on this downturn from what we had in the past few days. And it looks like we might come down to the 200 moving average again. If we look right here, 8,600, maybe 8,800 by the time this curve hits up here and we get down to here. So it's possible that we could touch down about just below $9,000 here and then go take off again like we did here. Like we saw, we got above the 200 moving average here and then boom. We did get above the 100 EMA, but there was a lot of indecision up here and we
Do you notice how we bounce off the moving average? I don't know if you guys caught that, okay, that we bounce off that moving average, but let me continue with this.
turned right back and got below it again. You might be asking yourself, why is that relevant if we're above the 100 EMA or not? If you didn't watch my last BTC technical analysis video, then this won't make sense. But this is a moving average. And you can see right here, the slope of this is turning down here. Versus here, we are turning around, coming back up when we came above here. This slope turning around is an indication of what's going to happen here. Other than that, I'm also paying close attention to this support level here. If we end up falling below this level of about 9,474, if we touch below this and we really push below here, I think we'll then push to this 200 moving average.
Now, remember what I told you about breaking down through support, okay? I want you guys to be able to learn this in the most simplistic way, okay, without having to go through entire courses and everything. So you've already learned about support. And what happens? Remember, you're on the first floor of your house, and if you break through the floor, you wind up in the basement. Keep that in mind.
On the other hand, if we go the other way and we go up and we hit 10,000 and then above 10,300, 400, there's a lot of resistance.
Okay, now those resistance levels are previous support levels. Remember I said that if you break through each resistance level, it's like going upstairs, like up a ladder. I want you to keep that in mind.
In this area here, but I think if we get above both the 55 and the 100 EMA as well, and we have less indecision than we did this time, there could be an opportunity for a good breakout here. If we look back in the history of Bitcoin, there's many instances where we touch back to the 100 EMA, take off, and then snap back to the average. So if you didn't watch my last video, I hope this bit of information is helpful for understanding why I'm looking at that 100 EMA here. Just go back again and show you another example. See, we touch the 100 EMA, jump up, snap back. There is a term for this phenomenon. It is called reversion to the mean. We keep coming back to this mean or average. There is another moving average that can be helpful to look at, and that is the 55 exponential moving average. If we take a look right here, this is the 100 EMA, but if I bring in the 55, wouldn't that be a better indicator right there for when to buy in? So what this is showing is that the 100 EMA is good to look at, but there's also other averages to look at as well. You can see a lot of these bottoms cross with the 55 EMA, but not the 100. So it is a good indicator to look at. None of this is professional advice or short-term trading advice for Bitcoin. This is just what I like to do, and I like to take a look at the price, make small predictions. If you want to watch the show, I might make more episodes like this. Maybe there's some things simple things you don't know about how to do this, and I can show you how to use these charts. If that's something you're interested in, just leave a comment. There are a lot of YouTube channels out there where people will try and sell you a course on how to use these charts. It's absolutely ridiculous. You don't need to buy a monthly subscription or whatever they're offering, whatever fee they're charging. You don't need.
You see, this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what I'm trying to get across. Okay, this is why I've been looking for somebody like Crypto Prophet who believes in what I believe in rather than other YouTubers that are going to try to sell you stuff. And this is what we're going through now is very rudimentary. Okay, it's the most simplistic stuff really for brand new people. Let me play this a little bit more.
Need that BS in order to learn how to read these charts. They just know people are intimidated by this, so they don't want to start. All you have to do is start and try, and you can learn how to do this no problem. On TradingView, you can have a subscription where you pay to use this service, or you can use a free version. And with the free version, you can add 3 indicators at a time. So I removed the 55 EMA and brought in the RSI indicator here. This will tell.
Remember we talked about RSI indicators that shows overbought and oversold?
Tell us the momentum of what's going on. So right now we're holding a relatively neutral momentum. We're around 50. This is a page on TradingView that they have explaining how the RSI works, and they give you a lot of useful information. I'm not going to read every point on here to you. There's a lot of valuable information here, though, that you don't need to pay for a course to get to. You can just come to their website and they give it to you for free. You can learn here on your own if you want, or I'm going to be making sense of some of this in my videos on technical analysis, so that might be an easier way for you to understand how it works.
And I've also asked Crypto Profits to continue doing this series. And I told him if he does, I'll show more of them on my channel. But, the thing is to keep it really simple because, look, if this can be all alien to a brand new person and it becomes very intimidating and you give up, I want to keep this simple for you. Support, resistance, exponential moving average, and the RSI. It's all you really need to know.
I know some people might be interested in going in here and checking this out for themselves, so I'll leave a link in the description. This page has a lot of valuable information if you want to try and understand how this works. It talks about reversals here, which could be very important for knowing when to sell at a peak. If you see this momentum's declining significantly and you're reaching all-time highs, maybe it's time to sell, as well as looking at other indicators like the moving averages, right? But this is just valuable information that I think could help a lot of people. You can see if the price is making a new high, the momentum will be declining. That's because funds are getting dried up. All the funding has gone into it already, and now there's less and less money to go into it, so the momentum's slowing down. And it's important to remember that none of this is professional advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You shouldn't take financial advice from people on YouTube, first of all. And second of all, another important point is I like to make long-term predictions for Bitcoin. I think that's a lot more reliable than anything short-term. Short-term predictions in Bitcoin can really screw you over just because of the number of bots operating the crypto exchanges, and they have zero emotions.
Bingo. It's exactly what I was telling you about the bots. This is why the game has changed. Okay, and there really are bots. Maybe BitConnect didn't have a bot, but I'll tell you, Wall Street certainly has bots. And there are bots you can buy, and I'm not talking about that crypto world evolution nonsense. I'm talking about a bot that will cost you serious money to use even on a monthly basis. I'm talking about thousands of dollars.
Due to this, it is difficult for the average person to successfully day trade cryptocurrencies. The
Bingo.
amount of bots with zero motion just make it extremely difficult. Right now, I'm just going to go out on a limb and make a random prediction and say that Bitcoin will make all-time highs by April 10th this year. The main reason for that prediction is looking back in the past year at the RSI indicator. Look at how this fell down to the bottom, similar to what happened here. It does this one step, one step, one step,
Boom.
right before hitting all-time highs.
Yep.
So that's why I see this happening sometime, maybe even before that, That's why I said by April 10th, right? But we'll see what happens here. It's just
This is why now you know how I got my number and my date of June 7th. Okay? it's from using this kind of analysis. I call it tactical warfare.
Interesting looking at this pattern, how it does that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to all the subscribers. I hope you've enjoyed this quick video on.
You gotta love Crypto Profits. I've told you many times to subscribe to him. He's one of the best. I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna show another one of Crypto Profits videos that kind of ties into this. Maybe I'll go ahead and upload this now. But remember, what you really want to remember is the exponential moving averages, the RSI, which he just showed you in those stairs, and support and resistance. Everything else is garbage. Throw it out the window. All right, baby. Stay frosty. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit up Crypto Profits. Let's go get that money, baby.